That's the Saturn V rocket, or Saturn V. V is Roman for number 5. I wonder why it was called Saturn V when it was the first one. It was designed by this bloke, Werner von Braun. The other thing is the Nazi SS used to all have a V on their uniform. There's the head bloke there, and they all had that V on the uniform. After the Second World War, no one could ever find all the Nazis. A lot of them were actually hiding in America under their own names. It must have been really difficult to find them. The V is a bit odd on the uniform. Apparently one theory is it actually stands for the Knights Templar. Apparently the trains going into the concentration camps used to have a big V on the front of them as well. If you look at paintings of royalty and various elites over the last 500 years, they all seem to do funny hand signals when they get their paintings done. And one of the hand signals they do is to make a V with their fingers. Seems quite common. Here's the boss of VOC. This is actually a board meeting. They're all doing it. That was the Dutch East India Trading Company. Bloke's doing one with each hand. The common one is just one on the hip. These are all royalty. That's King William of England, King Charles of England, Queen of Spain, Portugal. Oh, he's got the Freemason hidden handshake as well. That's Brazil. Here's one, there's a husband and wife team. That's Dimitri, the son does it as well. That's Saint Catherine, that's a religious figure. I think she's pretending no one notices. That's Holy Roman Emperor. Looks a little bit suspicious. They all seem to do it. I think she's a bit of a drag queen, that one. That's Duchess of Savoy. They started a hotel company. It's from Orleans in America. Well, there's a bit of a drag queen. German or Habsburg. One in each hand. That's, what's that, Russian? I suppose it shouldn't be a surprise all the European royalty are related. That's Dimitri, the banking. That's Queen Victoria's husband. Queen Victoria does it as well. And then if you look at the Rockefeller Centre, there's a bit of an odd artwork there. And if you look in churches, it's a bit scary that they actually do it with JC as well, in some of the stained glass windows. I think those people started New Orleans. Here's one of the founding fathers of America. And here's Bill Clinton. This is the god Zeus. Zeus is actually a Greek and a Roman god. Sometimes in Roman mythology he's called Jupiter. And the Roman version actually has an eagle. That's an old statue about 2 AD of Zeus. And here's a Roman carving with somebody doing it as well. In Roman times, the god Zeus, or the Roman god Jupiter, was associated with an eagle, and often you see the statues with an eagle. So normally when there's an eagle displayed like that, it represents the Roman god Zeus. So it makes you wonder why they were using the eagle. It makes you wonder that Charlemagne started the Holy Roman Empire, that in fact the people that run it are in fact the descendants of the original Roman Empire. The fact that they use the Roman Zeus signals and the Roman eagle tends to make you a bit suspicious. And then you wonder why this bloke called the Saturn V rocket number 5, or V, the Roman V, when it was the first one. It should have been called Saturn I, because it was the first one of that type. There was no reason to call it number 5, because there were no other ones before that one. So there was some significance to calling it Saturn V or Saturn V. And that's the Roman V. And then it makes you wonder who these people really were and who they were actually working for. Was it the another Holy Roman Empire, and they all had the V signal on their uniforms? I don't know whether it means that they were connected to the Knights Templar or not. Perhaps they were, but obviously they know what all that V signal is about. One of the more interesting letter V at the present time is the war in Ukraine. The Russian tanks have Z on most of them, but some of the Russian military vehicles have a V on them, which is very unusual when you think that the Russians fought the Germans during the Second World War, and close to 90% of the casualties were Russian during the Second World War. That V is the same V that the Nazi SS had on them. So it makes you wonder why the Russian military is putting a V on their military vehicles when it's quite clearly not a Russian symbol. But I presume most people use these symbols without any idea what they really mean and what the history is behind them. Sort of makes you wonder who's running Russia at the moment.